Regular Evelyn City Council meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. January 21st, 2014 will now come to order. Roll call.
Councillor Koivunen?
Here.
Councillor Lillis?
Here.
Councillor Hadrava?
Here.
Mayor Vaisalovich?
Here. Approval of the minutes. City Council workshop January 7th and City Council meeting January 7th. So moved. Have a support? Support. Motion made by Koivunen, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of agenda. I think we are going to drop, was it J11? Under new business. With that change, can I call for a motion that we approve the agenda for this evening?
So moved.
We have a support? Support. Motion made by Lillis, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have a number of commission appointments and consider appointment of Tony Jeffries to the Iron Range Tourism Board, appointment of Wade Peterson to the Joint Recreation Board, reappointment of Angela Austin to the Park Commission, reappointment of Michael Morosky to the Joint Recreation Board, and reappointment of Susan Gilpin to the Park Commission. I'd like to take these all in one motion if no one has any objections or questions.
I will so move.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to comment, thank these folks for the service to our city. We really appreciate it.
It's tough to find people, and they're got to be dedicated. You're right. I agree with you there. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we have planning to go out for bids for our auditorium project, renovation phase 2. We have Bruce Paulson from Stantec. You'll just give it a little rundown for the audience on what exactly we are doing.
Sure.
You've
Good
got
evening,
it,
Mr. Mayor,
Bruce.
City Council members. Thank you for having us here this evening. We have got the drawings ready for phase 2 of the Evelyn City Auditorium renovation project, ready to go out for bidding, and are here to request approval to do that. We have the advertisement for bid into the hometown paper. And the deadline for getting it in to the paper on Thursday was this morning, so it's already been submitted and ready to go. Should you make the approval, we'll pull it if it's not approved. Our plans are for a pre-bid meeting on site on February 4th at 10 a.m. with all interested bidders, and then receiving bids on Thursday, February 13th at 2 p.m. here at City Hall, with the plan to come before the City Council on February 18th to request awarding the contract. The phase 2 project currently involves cleaning, restoring, and painting plaster walls and ceilings in the lobby, the adjacent hallway, and the auditorium, upgrading the electrical system, lights and outlets within the main level, mainly in the auditorium, in order for that space to be functional, and then adding a new mechanical system for heating and ventilating the main level. And the mechanical system's been designed, sized, and located so that components can be added to that in the future as additional phases move forward in order to provide ventilation and heating for the entire building.
Well, thank you very much, Bruce.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. It's kind of an exciting project for us. And I know we have that on the agenda for action under new business. We can make our decision to act on that. Next, I have Ryan Capel from Stantec Consulting. He will explain our endeavors to solve our water odor problems. He's got a plan here. Ryan?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and members of council, thank you for having me. The city has been made aware of some taste and odor issues from kind of random areas in the city related to the drinking water supply. And so the city is looking into utility, into alternatives for resolving this issue. And it's, with the city's water supply coming from St. Mary's Lake, it's fairly likely that the cause of the taste and odor comes from decay of vegetation, algae, and other issues with the lake. And so these organics can sometimes cause taste and odor problems that are sensed in the drinking water. In looking at alternatives we have identified several ideas that could improve that taste and odor. And the leading alternative for resolving the issue would be to feed powdered activated carbon slurry into the drinking water to create sites where these organics could bind with the particles of carbon and then be filtered out in the city's existing sand filters. To test this, the approach would be to run a trial system starting this late summer, late spring, early summer, where we would use some of the city's existing chemical feed equipment with some purchase of perhaps some new metering pumps and a temporary enclosure to feed the chemical close to where the water is taken in from the lake and give it time to have contact with the chemical and then hopefully take out the taste and odor. This would be run as a trial this year, this coming spring and summer, if the council were to be in favor of moving forward with this alternative. Cost estimates have been prepared, and including engineering and technical services in the range of $30,000 approximately to look into this. And then the idea would be to get feedback from the public and to try to ascertain whether the chemical feed addition has resolved the issue. Looking at the response from that information from this summer and getting feedback, then a decision could be made to move forward with a more permanent installation of this chemical feed equipment. And so with that, I'll take any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Ryan? I know it's been a kind of a hot topic last year here, and this is the first attempt to see if this will correct the problem. Pilot program is the least expensive way to go, and we have a lot of control on what we do there. And I think you had a good recommendation there to try that.
Yeah.
Because we had the representative from the health department, and that's the way she was leaning too. She thought
True.
solved the problem.
We've had representatives from Department of Health look at this, and this is a fairly well understood method of addressing taste and odor. It should be also noted that taste and odor does not pose a health risk to the residents who are drinking the water. It's an aesthetic issue. However, it's unfavorable, and so in response to those complaints, it is good to do something to address.
Anyone have any questions of Ryan at this moment? Anyone from the audience have any questions? If not, Ryan, thank you, because we have this on the agenda to act on under new business.
Very good.
Thank you. Item F, do you have anyone from the audience who would like to address the council at this time? Because I will allow time at the end of the meeting for that same purpose. If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have 6 items. Approval of payroll December 16th to the 31st. Application to conduct excluded bingo Knights of Columbus Council 2583 to be held at Resurrection Church, Evelyn, on November 23rd, 2014. Application for exempt permit Minnesota Deer Hunters Association to be held June 13, 2014 at Sue's Penalty Box. Revised amendment joint powers agreement relating to the establishment of a joint cable television access board. And for pay equity compliance report. And number 6, travel request for ambulance service EMTs to attend annual EMS conference in Duluth, Minnesota, January 22nd through the 26th, 2014. Anyone have any questions on the consent agenda items?
Just one, Jackie, I guess the pay equity, that's done every
4 years.
4 years. Okay, and this is just a normal,
It's required by statute that every city do it. It's just rotating.
okay,
So this happens to be our year. It's due the end of January. And I really won't, when I send in the report, I'll know whether we passed or not, but they don't even look at it and send me a letter till like November.
okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Just one, Mayor. Jackie, with regard to the amended joint powers agreement with the Cable Television Access Board, Is it true that it's just to to change their fiscal year by the agreement? That's
Yes.
the only change in
Yeah,
that particular
yeah.
agreement?
So the joint table is Evelyn and Vale and school district. And Evelyn and Vale are on a fiscal year which is same as a calendar year. And the school district is on that June 1st to July 30th. I'm sorry, July 1st, June 30th. And the school district doesn't put money in per se, they put in in-kind services. So for us and Vale to budget on this kind of off-year cycle is a little bit challenging for us. So the board decided they wanted to change the year, the fiscal year to the calendar year. We're all for it. So that document is out to the other two entities to be approved. So within that document, we changed fiscal year and a couple of the dates when budgets are due and reports are. So,
Okay, thank you.
If there are no further questions, can I have a motion that we approve the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
There support to that motion?
I'll support.
Motion made by Hadrava, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have no public hearings at this time. We have no unfinished business. And under new business, item J1, consider calling for bids for city auditorium renovation phase 2 project. And Bruce gave us a rundown on what we're planning to do, and I'm hoping the place will be usable by fall, the main floor. Anybody have any questions? If not, call for a motion that we authorize them to go out for bids. Also move. Motion made by Koivunen, do I have support?
I'll support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You know, we're running one light here, guys. Item number 2, consider authorizing city staff and consulting engineers to proceed with activated chemical carbon feed equipment at the water treatment plant to control taste and odor problems. That's our pilot project we talked about. Anybody have any other questions of Ryan? If not, call for a motion that we authorize them to proceed.
Also move,
I will support.
and hopefully the smell will be gone.
Yes.
Ryan?
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 3.
You'll think you're on the council.
Yeah. Item 3, resolution accepting feasibility report and calling for public hearing for 2014 street and alley improvement projects. Mike, that kind of fell into your ballpark here. So we're good to go?
Yes, we're ready to proceed. We want an overview of the areas so that the public knows which areas we're looking at. Run through. Okay, we do have 4 alleys that we're looking at reconstructing. That is the north-south alley on the east side of Grant Avenue between Jones and Jackson Street. The north-south alley on the west side of Grant Avenue between Jones and Jackson Street. The north-south alley between Central Court and Adams Avenue from Cleveland Street to Central Court. And the alley between Washington and Madison Streets and Elba and Auburn Avenues. And there are also 6 project areas that the council's looking at, or street project areas they're looking at bituminous overlays. It needs to be Auburn Avenue between Jones and Washington Street, Kennedy Avenue between Jones and Washington Street, Washington Street between Elba and Kennedy Avenues, Madison Street between Elba and Kennedy Avenues, Jefferson Street between Elba and Kennedy Avenues, and as an add alternate bid to the project, North Norman Avenue between Vale Road and Jones.
Are we looking to set a date for a public hearing?
It's outlined in the resolution as February 4th, your
Okay.
next council. And I believe everybody would be mailed a notice in advance, so they'll be aware that the meeting date.
I have a motion that we support the resolution accepting feasibility report and calling for public hearing on 2014 street and alley improvement projects.
So moved.
Motion made by Lillis. Do I have support?
I'll support.
Support by Hadrava. Any further discussion?
Mayor, I would just like to encourage any of the residents that live in the areas that we're contemplating improving to look at the project carefully and attend this meeting if you feel that it's something that you'd like to do, because it's pretty important for us to make good informed decisions based on the folks that live in those areas.
Well, this is year one of a 5-year plan we have, and this is gonna be the test, see how it goes. And hopefully we get some good public input on that. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Item 4, consider approving change order number 2 for Northside Park Skating Shack construction. We're all good to go there, Mike, on that one?
Yes, this is an actual decrease in the project cost change order. And the original plans and the contractor's proposal called for furnishing windows, wood windows with aluminum clad interior and exterior. And in lieu of that, they furnished vinyl insert replacement windows. And the cost for those windows is less than originally planned. So that's what this change order reflects, that increase.
Okay.
Well,
Not
this
too
is kinda-
often.
This is like a no-brainer.
Right, we're having a windfall here tonight. Do you have a motion that we approve change order number 2?
Oh, so moved.
Motion made by Coivinon, we have a support. Boys?
support.
Support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Item number 5, consider approving pay request number 3, final one, for Northside Park Skating Shack construction, contingent upon contractor submitting IC 134 forms, and looks like we have that here. Have a motion that we approve the final payment.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Hadrava, do I have a support?
Support.
Support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Tell you what, it's a nice looking addition to the community down there.
It looks really nice when you come into town there.
There's been a lot of positive thoughts down there. People have said how nice it is. Angie's done a great job besides down there. We had a good New Year's Eve grand opening, kind of like. We're having another one at the Skating Shack dedication on February 14th February 16th between 3 and 5 p.m. We invite the public, and I will make another announcement up here after for that. Come and see the Northside Shack and enjoy it. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it really came nice. It's, building's a lot bigger than it looks when you get right down there. They first put the foundation. I was wondering about it, but it looks just fantastic. Item number 6, consider accepting quotation for soil borings in potential development areas. I know we talked about, we have a couple of potential clients for the area out by Station 44 Road. And we have some areas behind the church site up there, across the highway. And Eric, do you have a recommendation on what proposal we should go with?
Yes, I do. I sent out the quote packages, request for quotations to 3 different firms. 2 of the firms got back to me, and you can see on the summary, the tabulation there, Braun Intertech was the low quoter, and if you choose to go for both of the development sites, I would suggest recommending awarding to them at $4,230 for sites A and B. They did mention that the clearing would be over and above that, but still my thought is any additional clearing cost would still come under what the next lowest quote would be. So they will hire a local contractor to help out with clearing if needed. They weren't sure whether or not they need to do any clearing. So I'd recommend going with Braun for sites A and B.
Can I have a motion that we approve the proposal from Brontech for drillings on site A and B?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Hadrava, do we have a support?
I'll support.
Was it Joe?
Yes.
Support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 7, designate official newspaper. Recommendation is designate the Hometown Focus as the city's official newspaper for 2014. Anyone have any questions or thoughts? Other than that, then I'll ask for a motion that we designate the Hometown Focus as our official paper.
So moved.
Motion made by Coivinon, do I have support?
Actually, it was Lois.
Oh, is that you?
And then I'll support it.
Man, I better get a hearing aid here. That's motion made by Lilith, support by Coivinon. You guys just sound alike, we're gonna have to split you up here. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We have a recommendation from John Rousey, Ambulance Director, and Jackie, our City Administrator, to approve the hiring of EMTs. We have Derek Peterlin, Lana Brown, and Denise Williams. We have a motion that we approve their recommendation.
So moved.
Motion made by Coivinon, and you're the support?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Support by Lillis. Any further discussion?
Just want to comment, Councilor Coivinon and I were fortunate to sit on the interview panel, and boy, some very qualified candidates, very, very good people, and I think these candidates are going to do a good job for the city of Bethel.
You know, we've been lucky to have a lot of the dedicated people on them ambulances, because it gets a lot of use, you know, in a community with older people. And it's, you know, we got our whole public safety department, you know, you get good backup from the police department with the ambulance. It's a good good exercise, you know, for everybody in the community's getting their money's worth out of that.
Absolutely.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 9, resolution accepting donation for library front steps and carpeting. From the Evelyn Elks Lodge, $981.81. We've got a lot of donations last year. Looks like it's starting again this year, which is really nice. Do we have a motion that we accept this resolution?
So moved.
Motion made by Coivinon, support.
I'll support it. I
Support
never
by-
give away free money.
Support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 10, request from Paul Tuskin to carry over personal time from 2013 to 2014. Mike, it's one of your guys here. Is that gonna work out?
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't see where 18 hours would present any kind of a problem. We have had this situation occasionally in the past, and when hours have been carried over, it hasn't created a hardship.
Okay. We have a motion that we grant the request of Paul Tuskin to carry his personal time over into 2014.
Also moved.
Motion made by Coivinon, do I have support?
Support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That takes care of new business. We got council presentations and committee reports. I know you were pretty busy this weekend.
Yes, Mayor. Actually, Jackie, Mike Forty, and I went down to Hockey Day, Minnesota, down to Elk River. We took a lot of pictures. We talked to a lot of people. We got a lot of really good information. We are still in the running. We're down to the last month, maybe 2, before the decision will be made. There has been no decision made as of yet. So keep the cards and letters and the emails flying, guys, because if we want it, we have to go after them. It sounds positive. It was, Elk River did a first-class A1 job. It was a very, very beautiful place. Very unique pit with all the rock and their design and history there. it was very, very, very educational and very nice. Did I miss anything, Jackie?
There's been a lot of people working pretty hard to make that happen. And if we get the privilege of hosting that, when would that start?
I think it almost has to
Yesterday,
start
yeah, right,
yesterday.
Jackie, yesterday. If we get nominated to host it, we will be very busy, setting up, the rest of our steering committees and our other committees and getting things in a basket to pick what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and working with, the directors of Fox Sports and the Wild and everybody who's involved here. It's going to be a very fast-paced, very busy year, Mike. I know he's just, no. Yes, but no.
Yes, but no.
Yes, but no. But we're looking forward to the challenge, and we're equal to it, and hopefully the Evelyn Gilbert Golden Bears and us are picked to host that 2015 Hockey Day.
Well, maybe you can get some help from Doug Pelizari at the Hall of Fame to help you spearhead some of that.
He will most definitely be involved.
That's
He
kind of
doesn't know it yet.
that's his area of expertise. There's a lot of stuff going on this summer here in town. We're starting, especially these projects we're talking about, a lot of activity. And I know we talked about that committee to look at, the rental property and ordinance, and
Yep.
I'd like to set up a meeting for all interested people. Do you think we should have our zoning administrator?
Actually, I've got, Tony is mapping out a schedule for that, and he's out of town right now, so him and I are gonna put our heads together, and yeah, we wanted to make it, real organized and let people know ahead of time kind of what tools we have on our toolbox and what we're thinking, and then get their input, so more to come on that one.
That's good, because I know there's a lot of interest in that also. So we do the right thing that's the most productive, and we'll get our legal expertise here to fine tune our ideas. Anybody else on the council? Joe, you have anything?
No, we had a rock board meeting, that went pretty good. Just we have to send some money to them. And, otherwise, that's about it. It's that time of year.
Brian, you've got anything to add?
Well, I think probably an appeal to the public, to anyone that's interested in serving on our fire commission. We had a fire commission meeting the other day, and we have 2 members of a 3-member panel, and sure be nice to have a full panel or a full commission available to conduct business as we go forward here. So anyone that's interested in serving on the fire commission, I would encourage to contact City Hall or the mayor, and we would love to have you on board.
And with that being said, Brian, we have a couple openings for the Airport Commission also, and we would entertain anybody who wants to come help us with that also. That would be a very big help for the Airport Commission.
There's a meeting, I think tomorrow night in White Lakes concerning the Polymet project, and I think, it's something we all supported, and I think if anybody is in support of that project, they should try to go out there and voice their opinion, because things like that are what we need to really give this area a shot in the arm. Natural resources are our economic base. There's been a lot of resistance, and the only way we can tip it in our favor is get that support out there. If anybody has a chance to go out there and voice their opinion in support of that project, I know we have in the past through resolutions and other range communities, but it's extremely important that we try to push that forward. It's getting to the point where it looks like it could be a reality for us all. And if that project goes, it's going to benefit every town on the Iron Range, because somebody from every town will be employed there, the amount of people. I have nothing else to say. Mike, you got anything to add?
Just one comment on snow removal. I hope people can bear with us a little longer. Of course, we keep getting hammered right along. We're trying to still plug away and getting intersections cleared. We've widened some streets. We're hoping to get into alleys soon. We're even having some difficulty picking up garbage in alleys because they're getting so tight, and we understand that. We have had some equipment breakdowns recently, some items related to the cold weather, others just due to the age of the equipment, but we should be up and running with everything here the next day.
Eric, you have anything to add?
No, nothing further unless you have questions.
You can get those drillers out there as fast as you can, eh?
Got a bone.
Okay. Jack, you have anything to add? Mitch, you got anything?
Mayor, I just want to echo your comments about the Polymet project, and of course, we get the open house in Aurora tomorrow. But also, if people are not able to make it to one of those forums, there is a process where you can go online on the DNR website and you can actually submit your comments regarding the EIS on the DNR website. Actually, I've come across some guidelines that you can use. It's not a popularity contest, but they do need to see a lot of comments that come in support of the science and in the engineering that's in the EIS, that this project can be done in an environmentally sound manner. And so I have some guidelines actually that are very helpful in terms of putting together comments that you can submit online in support of the environmental impact statement. What I'll do is I'll scan those into my computer and I'll email those guidelines to Jackie, and maybe she can forward them to you and others in the city. If people would take the time to do that, I think it would be very helpful. So, and if Polymet, if they can get Polymet permitted, there's other non-ferrous mining projects waiting in the wings, and when you look at a project like Twin Metals up in Babbitt, Polymet's actually a small project compared to if they can make Twin Metals go down the road. So this is, I think, the main project that really needs to get off the ground, and will serve as kind of the threshold project. And once they get this permitted, I think it'll serve as a guide for future non-ferrous mining projects, because Twin Metals would be an enormous boon for the area as well. But that's quite a few years down the road. But this is the one that has to come first. So encourage people to attend the event tomorrow. But if you can't, go on the DNR website, submit your comments in favor of the EIS, and I'll try to get those guidelines out so Jackie can distribute them to everyone in the city.
There's always so many negative comments about that mining, but I might have a little more confidence in us, because I think we're smart enough to do those projects and maintain our environment.
Which we've been doing for a century or more up here.
That's, people are pretty diligent and responsible now, and no one wants to destroy the environment, and I think they can coexist. That economic benefit to the area and still preserve our natural beauty and resources. That's just my opinion, and there's just been kind of people looking at it with blinders. Yeah, there's been some bad things done in the past, but you're talking 50 years ago, and that's the way things were, but that's not the case now. Anyone from the audience have anything to add? Well, then at this point, I will adjourn the meeting.